In this video, we're going to take a look at the solution to this circular problem. So I'm inside of the index.js file of the circular directory. Here's the circular function. Let's open this up and get started. So remember, the idea here is that we're going to create two separate variables, and they're both going to start off by looking at the first element in our linked list, so the head of the linked list. So we'll say let slow is list.getFirst, and let fast is list.getFirst as well. Again, you could have just as easily said list.head, either one, totally fine. Now we're going to set up our while loop. Remember, we want to iterate through our while loop so long as the next value of fast and the one after that are not equal to null, just like we did on the previous problem. If fast.next or fast.next.next are ever equal to null, that means that this linked list does have an end to it, and so it is not circular. So we're going to say while fast.next and fast.next.next are defined, then we want to continue iterating through our loop. If this situation is never true, so if we ever reach a point where one of these returns a falsy value, that means we've hit the end of the while loop and we will exit it. And so if we ever exit it, that means that we must absolutely positively not have a circular linked list, and so we will immediately return false. Okay, so now inside of here, we're going to put a little bit of logic down. So we'll say fast.next, we're going to advance. I was copying down this line again. We're going to take our slow variable and move it forward by 1. So we'll say slow equals slow.next, and then we're going to move our fast variable forward by 2. So I'll say fast equals fast.next.next. And now here's the moment of truth. We're now going to look at the nodes that slow and fast are pointing at, and we're going to compare them together. And we're going to say if they're the same variable, then return true. We must have a circular linked list. So if slow is the same object in memory, like the exact same object as fast, then return true. One thing I want to point out here is the fact that we did not do something like slow.data. So we're not comparing the data in the linked list nodes, because the linked list could very easily have multiple nodes with the same data inside them. So what we really want to do here is say, is it the identical node? And in JavaScript, we can compare to see if a reference to an object is identical to another one by using the triple equal sign right here. So this literally says, is slow looking at a node that is identical and like the exact same instance in memory as fast? So if they are, well then great, we must have a circular linked list, return true. Okay, let's save this file and we're going to run our tests. Now, I accidentally saved the file while we were writing that solution, and unfortunately I realized just a second ago when I hit save, I saved it while we still had a case for that test where it was infinite loop. So you can see that I'm stuck at running right here. So I'm just going to close down that test runner and I'm going to start it back up with just circular test.js -- watch. And we'll run our tests again, and great. So 4 tests passing. So that's pretty much the solution. Again, this is just another one of those problems. I know I've said this so many times now, but just another one of the problems where you've either seen the solution or you haven't. So just remember, all these linked list things, you immediately want to think, can I use 2 separate nodes and walk through the linked list to come to a solution? Because if you can, well, it's usually going to be something that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's pause right here and continue on to our next challenge in the next video.